Well, hey there, Chad.
Hi, Kev.
Welcome to the Candid Athletic Training Podcast, Chad.
Welcome to you.
Oh, hey, we're the Candid guys. We do an athletic training podcast, and we try to speak candidly.
And this is the 205th time we're attempting it.
205.
Maybe we'll get one of these right.
What does 205 remind you of? Anything? Usually I have something that a number reminds me of. Remember when it used to just be jersey numbers of people? That was a long time ago.
205 doesn't remind me of much.
To me, it sounds like an interstate or something. Or it would be... There's a trick. So, you know how in Milwaukee here we have 94, right?
43 and 45, yeah.
Yep. But then if you're on 894, there's a... if it's an even number, so anywhere in the country, and I also learned this today, that the highway numbering system was invented in Wisconsin, by the way.
What?
Yep.
That is an amazing fact. I had never heard that.
So like 94, our 94 was like one of the first highways that was numbered.
What were they called before that?
No idea. And I'm basing this all off of like 3 sentences that I read in a social media post.
So it's 100% true.
But if you are...
That is a fun fact.
If you are circling around like the metropolitan area, like you're trying to avoid like the major congestion of like a downtown, you're on an even version of that highway. So that's why ours is 894 when you're going on the west side of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're traveling into or out of basically the downtown, the major city part of the city, it's an odd. So that's why it's 794.
Interesting.
And then up here in the north
there,
the highways are in the 90s.
This is candid mapping.
Yeah. And then like as you go south, it's 80, and then it's 70s, and it's 60s, and keeps going down.
So Florida's like...
I don't know, actually. But it's low. It's like Highway 10 or whatever.
Mm.
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
I'm just thinking the Cars movie is Route 66.
But that's a route.
It's not a highway.
Yeah, not a highway.
Interesting.
Not a major. And then what is it? Interstate, obviously.
Yeah.
Means that it goes in between states. Or is it? Right? Yeah.
Right? I believe so.
Yeah.
Well. Now that we've got the Atlas out of the way.
Highway 10, I think, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but my time spent in Arizona, Highway 10 went from L.A. through Phoenix, like L.A., Vegas, Phoenix, and it keeps making its way, like through Texas and stuff. So down there is 10.
Interesting.
Athletic training knowledge.
I'm going to look this.
For all the athletic trainers out there that are traveling on a bus or whatever, and your bus driver starts driving on an odd 3-digit highway, that means you're going in or out of a city.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, you should. You should. Do you know the exit signs? Why they're numbered?
No.
How they're numbered? It's by mileage.
I was going to say it's mileage to or from a certain point.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but...
If you're at exit 42 and you need to get to exit 48, you got 6 miles.
Yeah.
At least that's the way it works in Wisconsin. I don't know if it's everywhere.
It makes some sense sometimes. Well, we are going to talk a little athletic training tonight. Actually, we're going to talk a lot of athletic training tonight. Have a fun show. Actually, I think there's going to be a very thought-provoking. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are listening to this episode who are going to start screaming into their cars or athletic training rooms or wherever you listen to us.
Why?
I think we're going to ask some questions and give some opinions, and people are going to be like, yes, totally, or no, absolutely not. You guys are idiots. I think there's going to be a very, I don't want, bipolar is not the right word, but maybe, and not controversial. I just think it's going to be very thought-provoking.
Emotionally driven.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own reference points, and I think it'll come out today. Thanks to everybody who's on the live stream with us. We appreciate it.
Our live streamers.
let's thank the official sponsors of the show. Healthy Roster, www.healthyroster.com. They are the best EMR in the world. So
Numero uno.
So if you are in, everyone's starting to plan for next year. Probably thinking about, all right, what do we need? We asked a couple months ago when we start buying. A lot of people said March, April, May is when people start looking towards next year. So you want to start thinking about it right now or reaching out to the Healthy Roster right now, being like, hey, I might be looking for a new EMR next year. What's it going to take? What's it going to cost? Let them know you heard about them from the Candid Athletic Training podcast. Maybe they'll hook you up.
Great idea.
I don't know. So thank you to them. They are the official sponsor of the show, and they are our best friends. We have a couple other sponsors. We were hoping to have somebody from Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus on, so let's just bring them up.
Bring it up.
Joe may or may not join us. We sent him the email. He hadn't confirmed, so he may just pop in here at any second, and we're going to have to just do what athletic trainers do, and then we'll just adjust on the fly like all good athletic trainers do. But Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus is the official insurance of the Candid Athletic Training podcast, and they are offering some pretty amazing discounts on professional liability insurance if you're a member of our show. So you're going to want to check that out.
Yeah. Hopefully we get Joe on tonight. I mean, for all we know, he's having technical difficulties or something, or he's stuck in traffic or something. Who knows?
Or an emergency. If he joins us, he joins us. Otherwise, we'll try to have him on next week.
Yeah. We'll definitely. I mean, we're on it. We're gonna get you all the information. Still have your questions ready so that we can have them ready for our A-tip people.
Yeah. While we've got the
How
time,
long do you think the meeting went for Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus? Like, did anybody think A-tip? Do you think they should
just a tip? Just a tip. I think that should be their slogan. Just a tip.
Just a tip.
If I was the marketing person, I would fully endorse just being like, hey, just a tip.
Do you think we could? All right. Could we create a candid slogan, candid brand naming like service where people say to us, this is what we want to call our service, and
great.
We just start going, that's what she said. Or that's all just a little tip, huh? That's all you need is a tip.
It's one of my hidden talents is like,
I mean, I think you could make a lot of money doing that.
just coming up with stupid shit like nicknames and stuff. I come up with nicknames, really weird nicknames that seem to stick.
Interesting.
Like I have a female worker that I work with. Her name is Brooke.
Okay.
And I randomly just started calling her, I call her Brookie of the Year.
Brookie of the Year.
And it just stuck. I was like, Brookie of the Year, how you doing? Like stupid stuff like that.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Yours classically is Roop Dog.
Yeah, that's old school.
Was that self-given?
No.
No?
Maybe, I don't know.
Do you remember?
I mean, people just found out my middle name was Rupert, and it was right around the time that Snoop Dogg was popular.
Yeah. Roop Dog.
And so they just started calling me Roop Dog. Rupert was too hard, so Roop was...
Roop, D-O-G-G.
Yeah. Van. People just call you Van.
A lot of Van.
Kevin with an A.
Kevin with an A.
Yeah.
One of my players used to call me Navik, which then
backwards?
Basically created this some people still call me Navik now.
I hadn't heard that.
One of my players...
Chad backwards is Dach.
Dach. One of my players would have called you...
Asshole.
Had Cenneberry. Like he would always just flip. Your name's not as fun because the H just becomes a double H. Some people call me Had Been Harry. Had Been Harry.
They took out the C and just called me Had Been Harry.
Did you get a Brazilian wax recently?
I think I should.
Past tense of being hairy.
We need Manscaped back.
We do.
We should try them again.
See, there you go. We could have gone to Manscaped and be like, this guy's nickname is Had Been Harry.
Yeah.
You should use him.
Maybe we'll reach back out to them and just try something different.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what? Let's talk about Smart Tools real quick.
Let's do it.
Smart Tools, 10% off any of their products using the Candid 10 code. And we have a date, right? We officially locked up a date for our first CEU course. If you're a Candid Athletic Training member, we'll send out an email to our members to remind them. But if you're a member, we're going to do a 1-hour BFR course. I'm just looking up the date here. I think it's April 4th. I think that's what they said. April 4th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Tuesday, April 4th, 7 p.m. Central, a live CEU course with the BFR guys. And then we will have that available to all the members afterwards, but we'd like to have as many live as possible. So you'll get it either way, either the live version on that date, or I think we're trying to figure out a way to just send a copy of that to you. You can take the course afterwards and then get the credit later.
And you might be asking yourself, why so late, guys? Why so far away? Well, can't we just do this next week? And the reason is because they just redesigned their cuffs. They've come out with a latest version. Right?
Generation 4. They're newest. Actually, it's not out. It's coming out late March, which is why they wanted to do it in April. And in the email confirming this, I don't know if you saw this, I said Kevin is totally on board with being one of the first people to buy that. Yeah. So they know you're all in.
Oh, you didn't say like Kevin would be the first on board that you can give a free set to?
Yeah, I should have.
That's fine. I want to buy. I want to support these guys. I didn't know much about Smart Tools until we started working with them.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed with them.
They're legit.
I think they're
nothing
a
but
really
the best
good company. They're a really good company, and I think they're very thoughtful. I think Ed does a great job of the education side. Nick's been really awesome to work with. So, and I'm seeing it mainly through your eyes, but
yeah.
Lastly,
Human Kinetics.
HK.
Human Kinetics, 20% off any continuing education course using the Candid CEU code if you go to their website. We're also giving away 6 CEUs every other week. We have another winner we have to announce. That's a good chunk. 6 CEUs.
6 of them.
So you got a couple more opportunities if you're not a member of our show to go on our website, get yourself a really cheap membership, and get all these discounts and deals and benefits. So I think that's what we need to do. So a lot of fun talk coming up here. And we don't know. If Joe shows up, we'll just throw him in the middle of it, I guess.
We will. I mean, here's hoping everything's okay, Joe.
Is everything okay? Something just shut down here, Kev?
I think the heat just turned off.
Let's start with that. All right, let's do our weekly shenanigans here, shall we?
That.
Good call.
Hold on.
Are you ready?
Volume? Let's go.
Sometimes it just works out.
Sometimes.
Kevin and I don't plan shit.
Not at all.
Well, I'll plan some.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're candid. Oh, the days when we used to really plan.
So I don't know if you could hear that, through the microphones or what, but
sure.
there was like a low humming, and it just went, and it was just the heaters going off, and this is a new space to me, so I'm not used to it, and you knew what it was. I was like, oh, something just shut down over here.
I hope that's what it was.
But it's funny because
what else it could have been.
Right before the show, we're going to start with our F, Marry, Kill today, which I don't know. This might be the first time we've ever started with an F, Marry, Kill.
Maybe.
At work, by me, our heat is out.
That's crazy.
In some of the rooms, some of the patient rooms. And it's like 60
here,
degrees.
Guys.
It's really cold.
It's not warm here.
So we wanted to FMK the following problems in your athletic training room. The power goes out, so you lose power and lights. That's 1. 2, lose control of the temperature. So in like the north here, worst case scenario is losing heat right now because your rooms get too cold. We assume in the southern states, in the nice states, what we call the nice states, in the summertime, you don't want to lose your air conditioning. And it's probably this time of year, if you lose that, it's probably not so bad in the south. You're probably like, oh, this is great.
Yeah,
But in the
comfortable.
summer, you're like, oh my God,
You probably don't have
it's
it
going to go
on.
up to 140 and I don't know if I can survive.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's the opposite here. So, 1, losing your power. 2, losing control of like the temperature, whether that's your heat or your air conditioning. 3, losing your internet, losing your connectivity in your athletic training room. We need to F1, marry 1, kill 1. If you are here in the live stream, let us know what you would do. And I think this is where a lot of people are going to be screaming, I can't believe you said that.
I can't believe you said that. It reminds me, I just real quick, when I was in Biloxi, sometimes it was so hot, and then our locker room was so cold because it was so hot outside. I mean, I was basically doing a contrast. If I walked through a door, I was in a cold tub. If I walked out of it, I was in the hot tub. Out of it, it was crazy. I remember that wall of cold air.
Catch pneumonia every day.
Jeez, it was crazy. Sometimes to a point of like, whoa, that's a little too much. All right. Internet, temperature, power.
Yeah.
Power. McFly, you idiot. I'm going to.
I was just listening to a podcast where they said they were doing like a mailbag, and they said if you could redo any like movie, TV show, whatever, if you could recreate it, what would you want? What new version would you want? And somebody said they wanted a new like an updated version of Back to the Future with Tom Holland.
He would work. I'd be afraid of that.
That's what they said. It'd be a huge risk, but if you could pull it off, it'd be kind of monumental.
There's something so great about.
It was the Ringer Network.
Oh yeah,
the Ringerverse. So I'll give them their due. They're pretty fun.
There's something so great about that movie is in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the era of it makes things so perfect. Like what are you gonna use, a Tesla as the freaking time machine? Thing's practically a time machine. It goes 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It is a time machine.
Yeah.
Like, I think little details like that would be like tough.
Maybe it'd have to be 12.1 gigawatts. Just ramp it up tenfold.
1.20.
I got a question. So when you're doing this, are you marrying the one that you?
Ooh, let's set parameters.
I just don't know which way to go with this. The one that you want to keep the most. Is that what you're killing, or is that what you're marrying? Like, it would bother you the least if this happened.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Because this is like a double negative.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because if I lost temperature, am I going to marry that so that I never lose it, or I'm going to marry that I could lose that every day? I get it. I'm going to go from the standpoint of I'm losing it, so therefore, if I marry it, it's consistent and it's every day. Like every day I lose temperature.
But is that what you want? So that's what you want to happen?
Not want, but the thing that I would.
If you lost it every day, it would be okay.
Yep.
That's what you're marrying. If
I
got it.
Yep. If I only have to deal with it, every once in a while, I'm gonna F it. And if I never.
Okay. Well, then I think I got mine.
So then.
Maybe I don't have mine.
That's tough. I have to F internet. When it happens.
Oh, Kyle's got a good answer.
When it happens, it's brief.
Sorry.
Usually.
Tell me what you said.
Internet.
You're
effing it.
You're effing it.
Usually pretty brief. Everybody's all freaking on edge and excited. Because, oh my God, what are we going to do without the internet? But at the same time, we all know that we feel a little better because we're a little disconnected double negatives.
Okay. So that's what you're effing.
I'm going to marry. If I had to deal with this every single day, I'm just going to go power. Oh, that would be a really good F, though. Because you just have to, like, go blind and start touching everything. Probably bad. You probably lose your job.
No, it's accident.
I swear, Your Honor, it was an accident. I'm gonna marry the power. I'm gonna marry the lights going out. Eventually, my eyes are gonna adjust, and I'm gonna be able to see in the dark like I'm Batman with sonar. So that means I got to kill the temperature because, frankly, we just have too extreme of temperatures here. We just do. And I think throughout the year, even our summer, if you don't have air conditioning in our summer, it's still pretty uncomfortable to me. Like, if all year round was fall, I'd be whatever, lose temperature every day. But we just have too much fluctuation. So that's what I'm doing.
I'll give my answers, and then if you want to read some of the live streamers, we can argue. So in terms of can you do your job in extreme heat or extreme cold? Yes, you can. Can you do your job if you lose the internet? Yes, you can. Can you do your job if you lose the power or lights? Yes, but
I'm good with my hands.
It's probably going to be okay. So if you lose power, there's no modalities. That's great.
Yeah, that works.
Sorry about that stem. Sorry about that ultrasound that you requested.
Can't even open the ice machine because if I open it, all the cool air is going to come out and then it's going to melt.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I think I have to kill the power, though.
Okay.
It would be the most challenging every day. It would be a challenge to work in the dark. Maybe one that you would. Maybe that's just like the challenge you need, though, to improve your craft. Okay, I changed my mind. The internet. The internet's going to affect me the least.
Hell yeah, it is.
Oh, so then I have to marry that. I have to marry the internet.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I have to marry losing the connectivity because if it happened.
Way to make this so confusing. Why do we make this so confusing?
I don't know. So if I lost my internet, I know a couple people in the live streams are saying that'd be worst case scenario in terms of doing notes. Your healthy roster would get messed up. You'd have to do it later.
Do you lose cell phone service?
However, you can treat the athletes with no problem.
You can. You could do your job.
You can do your job
like it's
flawlessly, maybe even better because you're not distracted. So I'll marry that. Temperature is going to bother me less than the power.
Okay.
So I'll F with the power. I'll F with the temperature. Here in Wisconsin, if it gets too cold, throw some layers on. There's an answer for that.
Put a sweatshirt on.
There's an AT for that. And so I will have to kill losing the power.
Okay.
So what do you got?
All right, Kyle Rutledge. He's going to kill the internet. F the temperature. Marry the power. No power means I get to go home earlier. If I lose internet, I got to manually write notes and scan them once it comes back.
I mean, there's arguments for it, yeah.
Got my brain thinking like, so think 1997, 1998. Windows 98 just came out. It's the greatest program that's ever existed on a computer. You got AOL. Well, it was just like, remember one of these big launches?
Yeah.
Now it's just like, oh, you have an update on your computer and you just update it. Where it used to be like, oh my, there's like a line outside of Best Buy to get like the new Windows. Think that era. Were athletic trainers anywhere in the country like doing notes using AOL?
No, I don't know.
I hope
not sure.
Anyway, Colleen, killing the internet, F-ing the temperature, marrying the power. Oh gosh, It's not scrolling very well. David Piker. I think David Piker might be new to the show.
Welcome, David.
Welcome, David. Killing the internet. You mean no TikToks or YouTube videos? Screw that. Yeah, documentation 2. Mary no power. F, HVAC control. Box fans will work till they don't. Boop, 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 boop.
So he must work in the South where he's concerned about getting too hot.
Piker, where are you from? Let us know. Oh, KJ. Power and temperature have no bearing on practices here. My ATR is regularly at 90 plus degrees from
Jesus.
May
What kind of sweat box are you running over there?
We lost power a few months ago, and they just opened the doors and used that light.
Natural sunlight.
Oh, Kevin. Oh, my God. Sometimes I want to go to work with Kevin.
I would like to work with Kevin for a day.
Like, it'd be so great.
Let's make that happen. More members mean we can do that.
Nate, I guess I'll have to. I'm losing internet. Excuse not to do work. Oh, darn. Kill the temp. I hate sitting in extreme temps on either side. F the power. Who doesn't F in the dark? That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Nate. That's pretty good. Who does? David Parker agrees.
Sexy time hours are only during the daylight.
Oh.
So hold on, let me ask this.
No power in the ortho office is a safety hazard, so closed for safety reasons. Sorry, you can't see the doc. You just can't. No reason. Like, yeah, nope, can't see him.
I want to bring up an argument. Nate says, who doesn't F in the dark? Vampires? Is that their nighttime? The owls? Like the nocturnal? Do they only sleep so that it's the only time they do it? Would they say
Wait, you're asking if a vampire has sex in the dark?
No, in the daytime.
In the day.
Because
No,
that would be their night.
I know, but they would combust. They're allergic to the sun.
All right.
So they got to figure it out in half a day. They got to do everything in a half a day. They also just bite each other. They don't really do anything else.
David Piker says, long time, first time gents. Games got canceled due to weather. Congratulations on that. From Arkansas, living in San Antonio now, used to 110, 120 plus summer days. Well, welcome. Hopefully you
David.
join us, listen to the pod regularly, first time on YouTube. We appreciate you checking us out and hanging out with us.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully all the people in the live stream treat you well.
They usually
All right,
do.
we're moving on.
Let's move on.
What do you want to do next? So that was our FMK.
Top 5.
Let's do our top 5.
We were talking about interstates and all this
Interstates.
stuff.
Yeah, see how we meld this show together like we're
Completely on
professionals.
accident.
Top 5, Kevin. We asked 100 athletic trainers, what's your average commute time?
Well, I think in this to work, right? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 minute, 63 minutes. I guarantee somebody said 63.
But you thought I was in the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because everybody else said all
You said 10, 20, 30?
Yeah. 10, 20, 30, 1.
If you really worked at this, I think this is the week you could get all 5. I think if you really put your mind to it, this week you could get all 5 right. I think it would be the best week you've ever had.
I still think 10, 20, 30.
Okay.
I'm going to say 5. $35?
Okay. Those are your answers.
I want to throw 1 in there because I think somebody lives across the street from work.
We'll get to the shortest answer. I've got the longest and the shortest.
I live in the athletic training room, so my answer is 0.
Do you know here in Wisconsin a lot of people live above the bars?
Yeah.
Can you imagine would that help? Would that help with the low salary problem that athletic trainers had if it was just like rent was included and you lived right above?
That'd be interesting.
Would that be a workaround like the low salaries is we'll pay for your room and board, you just have to
But
live
it's just
upstairs?
right there.
Yeah.
Would you do it? Think back to you're 28 years old.
No, I wouldn't.
It's your first job.
No.
Me neither. I wouldn't do it.
because if I'm trying to do stuff, I'm not bringing someone back to the ATR.
Oh.
If I'm trying to go on a date when I'm in my single days, you'd be like, hey, you want to come back? I mean, is that worse than going back to my mom and dad's house?
So where do you work?
Or they're like,
there.
yeah. Like, you're going to take me back to work?
Yeah.
Like,
And
what does that say about you?
And we're going to lose power. Somebody was asking me.
That would be awful. Nate says that would be awful to live above the ATR. All the athletes would be like, hey, can you just come down real quick so I can do X, Y, Z?
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Pretty bad.
It'd have to be a clause in there that the athletes wouldn't know.
There you go. It's just some weird guy. Have you guys heard about the weird guy that lives upstairs?
Keeps playing OAR up there.
I keep hearing this like.
Who's the Irish clog dancer upstairs? All right. So in 5th place, 10 athletic trainers live 25 minutes from work.
I didn't get that one.
No, you got 3 out of 5. You got 3 out of 5.
I thought about. Oh man, I thought about 25.
11 athletic trainers live 10 minutes from work, including our own Nate Marsh. 12 people said they live 20 minutes from work.
Crazy
13 people said 30 minutes. And number one answer this week was 15 minutes away from work.
15.
Yeah.
I used to be 15.
So
now I'm 25.
So
the two that I didn't guess are the 2 last commute times, or current and previous commute time.
15 and 25?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically 16 and 26. But
Mike Hopper is here and he says, no, I not want to live above the ATR. Talk about a lack of work-life balance. Agreed. It would just, it's just
the sole reason I wouldn't want to do it is the decompress time and the having my coffee while I'm driving, kind of getting ready, waking up.
I was thinking about that. We'll get to this in just one second. So the longest commute we had in this survey was 70.
Okay.
70 minutes.
Yep.
One way. And the shortest was 2 minutes from work.
Okay.
So I was thinking about that. I go, I really like some people like the decompressed time in the car.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it. If I have a shorter commute, am I less decompressed when I get actually home? What am I going home for then? So you're saying you like being in the car because you're
yep.
And I've thought this way in the past. It's I'm in the car. I've just got some music on, whatever. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm recapping the day, trying to figure out how I could improve. And then when I get home, do I just stop? You give yourself a small window to think about work, and then when you get home, you have to turn it off.
So do you think there's a magic time of
I don't know.
This would be the window of I am ready to be home. See, I wouldn't say it's the to me it's still decompress, but I have to kind of
But you can't decompress at home once you get home? Is that what I'm saying?
No, because I kind of have to transition out of work mode and allow myself, once I'm home, I'm just home. And I don't have to even recap that much of the day. I will say this. Owning your own business doesn't really happen.
No.
You just kind of for at least right now, you just kind of live your business all the time, and you're handling work all the time.
Handle your business.
But at the same time, I use half the time on my commute, I'm productive. I should call that person. The other half, I put on a podcast, I put on a book, and I just frickin' zone out.
Yeah, you need to. You need to mentally step away, relax. So I want to go back to this question we started with, tongue in cheek. We said if you could live above the ATR, and we said maybe from the perspective of, we obviously know the salaries are so low, and there's a problem with the traditional setting right now. And maybe a way to do that is if they provided housing for us.
Yep.
What if it's across the street? What if it's a mile away? maybe there's something there. Like, could the schools find something like that?
Well, I was kind of thinking, like,
Maybe it doesn't have to be in the same building that you work with, but
when I said 1 minute, my thought was, I bet there's somebody out there that works at a university that they're like, there's university available housing,
yeah.
right? For instance, my sister, not an athletic trainer, but she worked at this boarding school in the middle of the woods in Michigan, and the school owned all of these houses in this little neighborhood, and then the faculty members could rent them out. And so she lived across the street from school.
It would just be nice if the schools took care of us. That's all. That's what everybody wants, just to feel like they're taken care of.
I would say schools need to get their head out of their asses and realize either pay people less or pay people a lot more.
Pay people less.
Meaning, show people how much you really don't fucking care. And then all the athletic trainers just quit all the freaking time because and nobody wants to work there.
Yeah. Well, that's what's happening right now.
Stop paying for stupid crap that you do in your schools. And actually give your athletic trainer a fair wage and proper support.
We've had several shows about the salary and the problem with the traditional setting, yada 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 yada, and we could have 100 more.
I'll tell you what. Another way to get around this: schools provide your athletic trainers with very good support, like good equipment, good an environment at work that promotes athletic training. A lot of athletic trainers will not complain about salary if where they're working is an ideal situation for them.
Yeah.
Because clearly athletic trainers don't get into the profession for goddamn money.
No, I don't think anyone goes into this going, I'm going to get rich. So it kind of goes back to the draft we had. Other things, Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do our friend or foe real quick, and then we'll finish with our fat. So, friend or foe this week, Kevin. The nomenclature regarding athletic training. I put it up, and somebody's like, Google's nomenclature. Google's definition of nomenclature.
I didn't know how to spell it.
So, basically, I saw on social media the whole trainer, not trainer, and how some people get really upset about it, and some people think it matters, and some people don't. Is the nomenclature, or what we call ourselves, is it a friend or foe to the profession? So basically, it does the argument regarding whether it's important to be specifically called athletic trainer or trainer. That was David Piker.
Piker.
Thank you, David, for Googling it. So is this argument...
These are coming in clutch, by the way.
I know. I kind of had a hankering for him. Is it a friend or a foe? Does it help the profession that we have to keep talking about it?
The argument of whether or not it's a good name for the profession.
Yeah. Is bad publicity better than no publicity?
No. Ask numerous amounts of people that have been canceled in culture. My vote is that it is definitely a foe that we keep having this dialogue about the name of the profession. I think because every time there's some kind of survey or whatever, it basically boils down to we just need to promote the profession more. And I actually think that's true. I actually think even if you called us any whatever name There's not going to be a perfect name. Frankly, we do a job that gets overlooked. Doesn't matter if we're called physical therapists. Doesn't matter. People aren't going to like appreciate the fact that some dude saved somebody's life on a football field and is a physical therapist. They don't know. They don't care. But I would say that it hurts the internal community that is athletic training to create something that's divisive or promote something that's divisive. You should never take a community and start jabbing your finger in between people and like, oh yeah, you think that we should rename the profession. Oh, and you think that we should keep it the same. Why are you guys different kind of idea? You're just like poking a bear. You're just throwing more heat on the fire. You're not solving shit. I think you're actually making it worse. And I think everybody needs to stop freaking talking about it.
So what you're saying is if you heard somebody say trainer, don't care.
I don't care. I don't care. You know what? And this is why. Somebody says trainer to me, well, I'm just a really fucking good trainer. I'll just be a really good trainer. It's not that big a deal. I don't. If somebody's hurt, trainer. Like, is it really the end of the world? Are you not going to still go do your job? Or are you going to like not?
You're going to sit there and pout until they actually say it right?
Come on. Get over it. Not a big deal. And like, as much as we want respect from other professions and from society, what the hell would we complain about?
If they gave it to us, you're saying if they got it right, then we'd have to find something else to bitch about?
Yeah, what else would we bitch about?
So we put up on social media, 73% of the people said faux.
I'll tell you what. Would you rather be respected and like everybody knows what a nurse is, right? They have a general idea what a nurse is.
Correct. I agree with that statement.
Would you like to spend most of your day wiping people's asses?
They do more than that.
They do a hell of a lot more than that. I have extremely good friends and family members that are nurses. You know what else they fucking do? Wipe people's asses. You know what we do?
You've never wiped an ass before?
Not a patient's. I have what? I mean, when you have a kid, ladies, not fun for you under there.
I am going to also agree. I side on the fact that arguing about it or getting really worked up about if people call us the wrong thing is bad for the profession. So I would say faux. I think in my head, if they say the wrong thing, but you understand that they know what we do, there's a difference between.
That's true. I
like if you say trainer, like my old coach that I worked with for 15 years, he knew what I did. He just said trainer.
Yeah.
That's different than somebody who doesn't know what we do saying it. Is that fair?
No, that's completely fair. I totally understand that. But if somebody doesn't know what I do and they like, oh, you're a trainer, like I don't like get mad.
Nate's arguing, but if you call John by the name Don, do you really respect him?
I mean, how about this? What if his name was Jonathan and you called him John? I mean, is that like disrespectful? That's what it really is. Because we are trainers. We are literally, it's in our name. Athletic trainer.
Yeah. I'm not one to get worked up about much, so I'm going to side on the side. I guess I don't get worked up that when people get worked up, I'm like, okay, fine. If this is the hill you want to die on, by all means, do your thing.
Good point.
I'm not gonna lose time, energy, or sleep. So do you understand that reference?
Nate?
Yeah.
I think he's saying like, well, what if Jonathan repeatedly says, "Hey, call me Jonathan, don't call me John."
Yeah.
And you just keep calling him John.
Okay.
Is it disrespectful? Sure.
Yeah.
But
I guess we're a disrespected profession, but we still can.
Again. Yeah.
He's just playing devil's advocate. Okay.
Oh, I know he's playing. Oh,
Good.
Come on, Nate.
Good for you, Pete.
You think I can't offend Nate?
Yeah.
Well,
anyways, I saw it on social media and I wanted to ask: is this a thing that we should be? I want better work conditions before I want a better name for the profession. That's what I want.
And I think we need to stop talking about whether the name.
When we fix that,
the nomenclature, I think, is a dangerous topic. And we just, we brought it up too, but we were calling it a fault.
Yeah. Trainer, doc, coach. That's an FMK. I get called all three. That's actually a pretty good FMK. Maybe we'll do that next week.
That's a good FMK.
You want to?
Have you ever been called doc?
Yeah, I think I have.
Actually, I have not. Some people call my acupuncturist in my clinic doc.
What's up, doc? Can we?
I think there must be like this very like old school. Anybody that touches somebody and creates some healing. Anyway.
Okay.
Next.
Let's do our fat, and then we'll do our feature topic here. Our fictional athletic trainer, we're actually really late on this. We promised this like literally 6 weeks ago, and we haven't got to. Oh, here, Mike Hopper says, is it disrespectful? Sure. Am I going to waste my energy with it? Not really. We have certainly more important things to fix, like our 35% of high schools with an AT. I'll spend... Mike, it's
100%.
just what I was saying. 100%. Let's fix the shit that really needs to be fixed before we fix the stuff
more people would know what athletic trainers are if every goddamn high school had an athletic trainer.
Yeah. So,
and like Abby, maybe some middle schools.
Yeah. So, we put this up on social media way back in middle of February or middle of December, way back in 2022.
Whoa, that was a long time ago.
And it's already February. Probably the best show of 2022, in my opinion.
Really?
Literally the best thing I've seen. I watched all year.
Andor.
Wow. Star Wars. My wife is in disbelief because she made it through 2 episodes and she's like, this is super boring. She got out and I kept going. I'm like, this is great. And then I would listen to podcasts and they're like, this is the best thing of the year.
Wow.
And it was really good, I thought. Talked to a lot of people and they're like, what did you think of this? I'm like, incredible. And they're like, yeah. So I would highly recommend you watch it, Kevin.
Do I need is there Andor can stand alone, right?
Andor. Yep.
Okay.
Did you saw Rogue One?
Yep.
It's before Rogue One. This is This is 5 years before Rogue One.
So I could watch it and not be like, oh, what's going on in the universe?
So we asked social media, which Star Wars Andor character would make the best athletic trainer in your opinion? And we got a couple answers.
Okay.
And we also I texted our friend Dave Yeager and I asked him who he thought as well. And I'll have to go through my text and just see. We said. But Josh Dossie said he's phoning it in, but Andor, the main character, followed by Deidre. Victoria Morris said she has a lot of thoughts on this. Luther has the plans and knows what to do when the plan doesn't go as expected. Deidre, this is the second time we've heard Deidre, has the leadership skills, will do whatever it takes to prove her point. Andor knows what it's like to have to work hard and just grit it out.
Okay.
And then E.E. Knight said, Kino Loy. And this is a quote from the show.
Yep.
Productivity is encouraged. Evaluation is constant. Sick, injured, you talk to me. Problem with another inmate? I'll know before you do. Losing hope? Your mind? Keep it to yourself. Don't ever slow up. My line.
Who is this?
Keno Loy.
That was Keno Loy.
That would be Andy Serkis.
Okay.
Circus, sorry. Is it Circus? Andy
I don't
Serkis.
know,
The guy that played Golem.
Yeah, I don't know if.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, I don't know.
Incredible. Like, literally 3 of the best speeches in TV / well, for sure, Star Wars history. 3 of the best monologues, all in the same TV show. I'm going to just go back and see what our friend Dave Yeager had to say.
What Yags have to say? You know it's right.
She said Clea Markey. And I said, why? And he said, she's the clerk in the antique shop. She does all the behind the scenes stuff. That's what she said. So she worked with Luthor. So she kind of like was Luther's.
This is Yag's vote?
That's Yag's vote.
Okay. Claire or something?
Clea. So, ask me some questions. So,
all right.
You're going to go, you got the IMD pulled up over here.
Yeah, I just want to like have reference of like their names.
So, you want the synopsis of this thing?
Sure, give me a little.
So, Cassian Andor is this outcast on a planet. He's wanted for a crime that he commits.
Yep.
Then he gets caught up with Luthor, who recruits him for this heist.
Okay.
They're trying to hijack money from the Imperials.
Okay.
So he goes and he's like, hey, yeah, I'll do it for the money. He goes, they rob the Imperials, this really cool heist. They get away with it. Then he's hanging out, and because they committed this crime, the Empire is cracking down on any suspicious activity at all.
Sure.
They're like pissed off.
Coming in.
They're pissed off. So then he gets arrested and he gets sent to jail.
All right.
And he has to figure out a way to escape this jail.
Okay.
Meanwhile, while that's going on, all these other people who are in the rebellion are kind of planning their own like little factions on how to help with this major overthrow of the Empire.
Okay.
Very intricate plot.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
So
I hope that was a quick synopsis.
Yeah, I think it was quick enough. How about like who does the most work without complaining about it?
Cassian.
Okay.
He does the most amount of work wherever he goes. He kind of is just like the blue collar. He is the blue collar, like, let's get this shit done. I don't care what it takes. For sure.
Who is, the under pressure, emergency situation, so forth person?
Cassian is good at that.
Okay.
I would say Luthen is pretty good at that.
Okay.
Not in the hands-on sense, but in the terms of coming up, like Luthen would be the person that like writes all the EAPs. He would plan out every like, hey, if this happens, here's our move. If this happens, this is what we do.
Like he planned the heist.
He's kind of like the person that would run the pre-game medical team EAP meeting.
Okay.
That'd be Luthen.
What about like
also Deidre?
Uh-huh.
Sorry, not Deidre. Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma's she's a senator.
What a freaking
She was in some of the later. She was actually in like Star Wars. She's
actress looks familiar.
Yeah. Kind of under pressure, like getting surveilled. She's under surveillance because she's like a political person and she knows that all eyes are on her all the time. So she has to be very sleuthy in what she does and being able to get things done with a lot of eyes on her, which may or may not be what your athletic trainer does, but
but could translate.
I mean, you're doing CPR and somebody on the middle of a field, there's some eyes on you. You better be able to withstand some pressure.
But even like, and granted, every athletic trainer kind of just like gets used to it. But like, you know, when you're one of the first times you're ever taping somebody's ankle, that one of the simplest things to most athletic trainers now, but it's in front of like a packed athletic training room, or it's like on the sideline and you can like feel like the eyes of the crowd staring at you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like you gotta be good at like faking it until you make it, but then also like sneaking in whatever without maybe even a little bit of nerves without people knowing. How about like, who's got like surprising skills? Who's got like, whoa, like never knew that you could do that. I don't know if there's any examples in the show. But
Luthen,
okay.
Luthen was like
he's the planner.
He was, you know, this is gonna sound weird. Luthen was part Hannibal from A-Team, part Face, because he had like these costumes that would go in disguise.
Sure.
And then he'd be able, like, he was kind of chasing Andor, and he had some tricks up his sleeve.
Okay.
Legit.
He also probably, I'm guessing, unless you can tell me wrong, like the best long-term plan guy.
Rehabs,
Yeah.
knock him out of the park.
Okay. So what about like? I guess he probably have pretty good instincts.
Did you say? You know, also Deidre would be in this category too. She was kind of, she's the female in the Empire.
Okay.
Trying to work her way up the rank a little bit, and she's kind of like on the case hunting. She's the one that kind of figure out, look, there's something going on here. There's some sort of rebellion going on. Mm-hmm. We need to catch this before it becomes a major problem.
Who would you say amongst the cast is I guess the least recognized for the amount of important work? Even if the important work was like not necessarily a quantity, but a quality.
I mean, that's where Yags is saying it's Clea. I see it. She's like kind of like the shop assistant. Okay. And the shop is the front for like all this rebellion planning. Right. Like there's different cells within the rebellion. And it seems like Luthen's the one that's controlling all the cells. He's like making sure that A doesn't know what B is doing, B doesn't know what C is doing, so that if one person gets caught, they all get caught. He's kind of like making sure.
Gotcha.
And Clea is the one that's assisting him.
Who's the biggest rule follower?
The biggest rule follower?
Yeah, who doesn't break the rules, even though they're, trying to fight the...
Deidre?
Deidre?
Deidre is like, Deidre. And then maybe, what's his name? Shit, I forgot his name.
Major.
Cyril? Yeah, Cyril.
Cyril?
Cyril is kind of like the wannabe in the Empire, low-level police kind of guy, and he's just trying so hard to impress somebody so he can get a promotion, and he's just not there.
Okay.
So he's kind of like following every protocol,
try-hard.
by the book. He's a try-hard, yes. Yeah. That's Cyril. The opposite of that, I don't give a fuck about any rule.
That's where I was going. Yep.
Saw Gerrera, Forrest Whitaker.
Oh.
He was in Rogue One. He was.
Yeah.
It's a younger version of him. Freaking awesome to see him. I got so excited when they finally showed him. I was like, I knew he was going to be in here.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It was awesome. Awesome.
By the way, they aren't showing certain characters because I think they're probably supposed to be a surprise, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, any
Saw Gerrera's like I'm never gonna stick ice on you guy. I love it. Like ice is the devil. Like, well, you know what we're gonna try? We're gonna just try nothing but BFR, and he's all holistic medicine.
Nice.
And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm gonna do.
Love it.
Yeah.
Works for me. You should do it too, but I understand if you don't.
Yeah.
Not here to change your
Does
mind.
not play well with others.
I do fine on my own.
So he's not like
good. He'd be a really good minor league athletic trainer.
100%.
off on an island. Nobody there to like constantly check in on you other than your phone.
It's like Kayla working in the Dominican.
Yep. There you go.
Stuck.
Although she's probably got people just jumping on her all the time. Not that way. I totally meant it in a business
professional
way. Like emails. What's going on with this guy? What's going on with this guy? What's going on with that guy? So it sounds to me, Cassian
for sure
is
a solid AT. I think
sounds like Luthen is a pretty solid pick.
Luthen's more like, you know who Luthen's going to be? He's going to be like your head guy that doesn't necessarily, he'll cover like some smaller sports, but it's not really doing the day-to-day. He's kind of like, I'm the head that I'm going to cover golf.
Golf and tennis.
I got the golf team. I'm doing all the administrative stuff. But I'll cover some golf, maybe some gymnastics, whatever it might be. Oh. Well, just not as many athletes.
Oh, that's true.
That's Luthen.
And then I'm hearing, I keep Clea,
Deidre.
You only said Deidre once. I know there's somebody else who voted for Deidre.
Deidre had 2 votes amongst the people.
That's right. Who would you vote for?
Who would make the best AT?
Yeah. If you only had to pick one. You only get to pick one this time. Even though multiple of these persons' characters are probably going to end up on the fat bracket.
Mm-hmm. I think my top pick is... It's Cassian.
Yeah.
He's just a jack of all trades. A jack of all trades and a workhorse.
Yeah. I mean, if he's anything like he was in Rogue One, I feel like he's a good pick.
Yeah.
A good
Hopper
pick.
says gymnastics might not have as many athletes, but they are probably one of the highest percentage of athletes constantly needing treatment. I can totally see that.
True.
I didn't have it where I worked, but I can totally see that. Yeah.
It's very, very true. Oh, you want to be a gymnast? All right. Just let me know when you want to get injured.
All right. I think
great sport.
I think that's all of our shenanigans. Let's do our feature topic. All right.
Getting sore already.
Are you? Yeah, Kevin worked out for the first time.
First time in months, guys. Months.
Can't you see how swole he is in that sweatshirt?
Since before my kid was born.
6 months.
Yeah.
7 months? 6?
Yeah, he's almost 7 now.
Holy shit, time flies.
Yeah, man.
Kept that thing alive this long?
Yeah. Oh, almost not. Only 3 times.
So this weekend was obviously the championship games in the NFL, and there's some things that happened this weekend that made me think we need to talk. 2 things in particular. One major one, one really small one. Which one you want to do first, the big one or the small one?
Small one?
All right. So they're related. Obviously, there was this injury to a quarterback that is now going to be playing next week, who got injured the previous week and in 8 days came back, or 6 days or whatever it was, from a high ankle sprain, and shocked the world by playing the following week. Everyone's like, this guy's going to be out for a long time. And the medical staff, kudos to them. They got a lot of love on social media and in the traditional media about getting Patrick Mahomes able to play in the championship game, and they obviously won. And a lot of credit went to the sports medicine staff.
How do you look? I didn't watch the game. Did he look like he was healed?
He was fine.
Was he hobbled?
You could tell he wasn't 100%. I didn't see much. We were watching Paw Patrol.
I mean, that guy does not need to be 100%, but Paw Patrol, huh?
We bought a new TV.
We're on Paw Patrol now.
We're on the Paw Patrol.
Okay, all right.
Bennett said, this is what we're watching. And I can't, you know what? By all means, yeah, if this is going to make you happy, for sure.
And he looked at you and he said, I'm the captain now.
I'm the captain now. So I saw some of the game. The mobility wasn't there, but he could stand in the pocket and fling it still.
I mean, that guy.
And he knew how to protect himself.
Guy's pretty good.
So before the game in the morning, when they were doing all the pregame stuff, like the lead up to the first game, there was a segment. I was at the gym and it just said, coming up, we're going to have an NFL athletic trainer on and show how you would take care of an ankle. And I think it was an AT from the New York Giants that they had on. And I didn't see it, so I don't know what they did. But he was showing a tape job and the spat. And I think that was part of it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. We're getting a little bit more recognition as a profession. Like, look at here what we can do. And then I went on social media later expecting to see like, oh, that's cool that they're promoting the profession because that's what we just asked for. This opportunity ever since the Bills thing happened. We're like, this is our time to shine and like show what we can do and all these things. And there's an AT for that and all this stuff. And then I went on and the only thing I saw was, well, shit, this happened. And now we're going to have to spat more because they think that's what they saw and that's what's supposed to happen. And I was like, well, damn, I thought we wanted more recognition. And we got recognition. And it was like, no, don't do that because now we're going to have to work harder.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. That's my thought. Yeah. So to make my point more clear earlier, what's the next thing we're going to complain about?
So we're just a bunch of complainers.
What else in our job that we chose to do are we going to complain about? In reality, it is a catch-22 in a lot of situations of our job. Most of our job we can't talk about because of like HIPAA and things like that. Most of our job can't be shown because HIPAA and all that kind of stuff. Even like these media companies that get full access to an NFL team, very rarely is there like a lot of like showing of actual treatment and talking about treatment based on what they're doing, because that can't come out. That can't come out that somebody was treating their hamstring during that episode of whatever, because then some company, some team is going to be like, no, I don't want to sign him. Like, didn't you see that Hard Knocks episode? Like, his hamstring's crap, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's so many different factors in that world that go into it. And then, obviously, high school, totally different reason, minors. College, maybe they could start showing a little bit more college and how much college athletic trainers work hard and how long their days are and this and that and this and that. But, again, I bet a lot of athletic trainers don't want to be, like, in the limelight. That's what the athletes are for. They're the limelight.
I had a text conversation with one of our members who said that exact same thing after the Buffalo Bills situation. They were like embarrassed for the athletic trainer, for Denny, like how much they were like showing him and recognizing him. And the person that texted me would be like, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want all that attention. And some people do, some people don't.
I wouldn't necessarily want to have a video of me trying to save a person's life be played over and over and over again. I wouldn't mind the recognition post this happening that like, hey, everybody should know that this is who was physically working his ass off to try to save this player. I think that's a great recognition. It's something that we don't get recognized that we have the capability of doing or that we have done, and that there are way too many high school kids that there aren't cameras around that maybe didn't even have the access to an athletic trainer, Mike Hopper. And you're talking about earlier about the high schools that don't have athletic trainers. Like, that's what should be talked about. Hey, this happened once in the NFL and people talk about it. This happens across the country every single year, and there's not an athletic trainer there. So who the hell is going to pay for that athletic trainer? Anybody. Pay for it. For even the slimmest opportunity that some kid is going to have cardiac arrest on an NFL on a football field or whatever field.
Yeah, that's what we posted on social media a little bit.
The 8,000 schools or whatever.
Yeah.
But kind of back to like, is it So we get the recognition. NBC or whoever's freaking playing the game says, you know who we should talk to is the athletic trainer. We should talk. Obviously, we can't talk to the athletic trainers of these teams, but let's go call. Hey, my buddy's friends with Nick with the Giants. I don't know if that was his name. I'm making it up. Let's ask him if he wants to come on air and say, like, hey, like, how would you take care of a high ankle sprain? What do you think they did to get this guy back so fast? Let's promote the fact that you know how to do that.
I think it's great. I was so excited to see it.
And I'm sorry that, like, when those things happen and it trickles down, right? And, like, athletes start saying, like, oh, like, can't you just spat me? I have a high ankle sprain. Well, maybe the spat gets them through, and I think the next point of your conversation, the state championship football game. I'm willing to risk my ankle if you can spat me, right? What's cool about the trickle-down effect of, like, what professional athletes do and then college athletes start doing it and then maybe some other people like high school kids and things like that start doing it. In essence, most professional athletes get taken care of to an nth degree. If we want athletic training to grow and expand, it's not on the professional ranks. There's a very limited amount of those positions. If you want to show that you kick fucking ass at more than just holding Gatorade towels, you're going to have to work. And that's going to come from having to take care of people even more. And then you're so freaking busy that your school says, well, you kick ass. What if we had two of you? Or you get to say, hey, if you want these kids to be healthy and be Patrick Mahomes one day so that they come back and donate $1 million to the school, I need another athletic trainer.
So let's get into the other
Yeah.
kind of thing here, like the nuts and bolts of this whole thing. Patrick Mahomes was able to play
Mahomes
after a week and a high ankle sprain, and it was this whole, like, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. And he only did it because it was an important game. Or I guess I was thinking in terms of how would I have handled it. And a lot of times it's like, well, if this was a regular season game, he would have missed. But this is a playoff game, so he's going to play through it. And that whole idea of play through it and the time of the year dictates the level of care and the round-the-clock management. Like, they probably worked extra hard because it was the AFC Championship game. Not that they don't work hard all year.
Oh, they worked more. They definitely did.
So did you experience that with professional baseball? Like,
Absolutely.
September, October, playoffs is like, it doesn't matter. Is that your experience?
Yeah. All hands on deck, no matter what.
So is that good or bad for us?
Well, the problem on that level is money. It's money. Everybody in that room that was taking care of that young, fantastic quarterback,
An extra playoff check.
including himself, going to make more money, including the team's going to make more money.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. The NFL is going to make more money because, like, one of these superstars of the NFL is in the game. So it's a hard. Some college, that happens as well, right? NCAA tournament is probably the biggest one. Well, I would say actually maybe like the BCS bowls or whatever they're called.
March Madness.
March Madness. I mean, the amount of money that's flying through those things, and it goes to then the institutions, but then also these kids that
the conferences.
Now it's NIL and the conferences,
Yeah.
but breaking it down to like the high school level, should it matter whether it's the state championship or the second game of the season? You got a high ankle sprain, you're at 65%.
Well, let me. Here's another way of looking at it. Let's say you have the same injury with two different kids. You got a sophomore and you got a senior.
I think that makes a difference.
If it's your senior year, the kid's trying to play through it. If it's your sophomore year, are you a little bit more conservative with the treatment? And I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying it made me think these are the questions we have to go through with ourselves, with our athletes, with our coaches. It's kind of an interesting, maybe the word is dichotomy. I'm not sure if that's the right word or not, but like,
I'll give you a real life situation of that.
yes, please.
Gymnast, freshman in high school, low back issues. I mean, MRI, clearly something going on. Like there's, we'll call it a spondy. Freshman, really one of her only goals is to compete in gymnastics throughout high school. Doesn't want to go to college. Like not really like, oh, this is my life. Like just kind of, I want to be a part of a team. She gets good. She rehabs for like 2 months, feels good for a month, comes back. Rehabs for 2 months, feels good, comes back. I said, well, you can either keep doing that. Clearly it's a pattern. Like it's what's happening to you. Or you can stop right now, work your ass off in a rehab, and with the hope, fingers crossed, hope, but a much better chance at healthy for an entire season, maybe for 3 years. And sometimes when you're young, you think in the now. Sometimes when you're an athletic trainer, you think in the now, you're not thinking of later. I think two different athletes, same team, same age, maybe the skill level, like star quarterback versus, let's just say the tight end who catches one ball a game.
You run the ball 15.
Yeah. You're
out of every 20.
Team.
Yeah, you're running. Yeah. Your tight end's a blocker. Actually,
yeah, he's a blocker. And he's better than the next guy, but it's not going to make or break the season. Like, I think that's an interesting question. I think that comes down to the individual. If it's a high school kid, obviously then involving their parents. But if it's not a high school kid or it's an adult, talking to them and being like, here's your risks. We did it all the time. All the time. And I still to this day, every single one of my patients or my high school athletes and their parents are in the room, and they constantly ask me the question, should we play in the game tonight?
I think it's one of it's one of the skills, one of the things that is very unique about our profession that we don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to that maybe we should. Like that ability to navigate that decision-making process, being part of the return to play process.
Big time.
There's a lot of factors that go into it, a lot more than we think.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a lot more than just like what the injury is.
Yeah.
A lot more.
And how everybody heals a little bit differently, but there are other and how do you teach that in school? How do you teach that to an athletic training student? Like the whole, should this kid play today? This is week 3. How about, oh no, it's week 13.
That's always the fun, kind of a game you play with like an intern. They're at their end of their schooling for their bachelor's degree or whatever, or maybe it's their master's, and it's a serious injury, and then you go, all right. Or no, it's not a serious injury. It's a tweener. All right. Make the call.
Well, then the opposite is also true. If freaking Simone Biles can sit out the Olympics.
Yeah.
Because she's not ready, and people are putting pressure on her too, then I'm sorry, Johnny in high school who thinks that this game is the most important. Simone Biles didn't compete in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, we need to protect you too. Yeah. So it goes, there's a lot of different factors. It's really a interesting kind of part of our profession that maybe goes unnoticed.
I think it's also one of the hardest to navigate, or you were talking about navigation's not the wrong word. Come up with like an answer to when somebody's going to be ready, because it's such a day-to-day thing. It's so, today he feels like this, today she feels like this, today she took a step back. Like, that timeline constantly changes. And the only way the timeline doesn't change is if it's like a perfect injury rehab and healing process. And
Hopper brings up a good point. He says, do they really expect that level of care? Do they say they want it? Spatting, show up and do the work that Mahomes does, and we'll spat like Mahomes does. You know, like,
here's a mic.
Do they want a quick fix?
Drop it.
So
that's a great point, Mike. Such a great point.
There's so much that goes into it. It's just really fun to talk about. Like that's the kind of conversation that we started the show for.
Yeah, absolutely.
It only took us 205 episodes to get there.
And I think anytime you see an athletic trainer doing anything, whatever, they're an athletic trainer. You know what? Some people want to be athletic trainers because the assistant athletic trainer runs out on the NFL field and squirts water in people's mouths. Some people are like, that's a fucking job. I want to do that. Whatever. Who cares? It is part of our job. Hydration. You take care of athletes. You work your ass off for the rest of the day. Get paid shit. Hopefully you get a better job one day. Work on that CV. Polish it up.
All right. With that, I think we're done. We got to thank. Yeah.
That was a little loud.
That's all right. So, good show, Kev. A lot of actual athletic training nuts and bolts in there. So, thank you to Healthy Roster, the official sponsor of Candid Athletic Training. Check them out at healthyroster.com. Thank you to Smart Tools, 10% off anything at Smart Tools by using the code CANDID10. Thank you to Human Kinetics. 20% off using Candid CEU on any of their CEU courses.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you to Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus. Hopefully we will have Joe on soon so we can answer questions about the special price that you can get on their professional liability insurance through the Candid Athletic Training program. We're really excited about that. Otherwise, I got nothing, Kevin. It was fun. We got like a month till the Fat Bracket time.
Yep.
Till National Athletic Training Month. So we're going to start putting together a bracket. Holy shit, it's time for the fourth round. The fourth go at this.
The fourth rendition. The fourth edition.
We're going to have to figure out what we're doing for it. So thanks to everybody who jumped on the live stream tonight. We had
a good crowd.
A good crowd. So I got nothing. You got anything else?
No, CandidAthleticTraining.com. Candid_ATC. Candid Athletic Training at Gmail. You want to contact us, leave us suggestions, everything else, memberships, all the above. Love y'all. Bye.